All right, everyone. Good day. This is from me, lead consultant, MAXIM-CONCEPTS consulting practice. And so I continue my short talk on governance issue across board. Today we'll be looking at crisis management for CFOs, strategic financial governance in uncertain economic times. And so I have 5 areas that we'll be discussing with us today. And the first one is to establish for CFOs during uncertain economic time, they should establish a crisis response team. That is a team that will take critical decision in managing the cash flow forecast and liquidity management of the organization, because the business has to continue. And so they will have to create a kind of a short-term liquidity plan that is considering short-term, cash management to long-term cash management and being able to balance the two. But the thing at the end of the day is that they will tilt more towards short-term cash management as against long-term, because of the fact that the company is currently experiencing uncertain economic time. And they will also do a kind of proactive and actively carrying out a scenario planning. A scenario planning is like a financial modeling, of which they will now be coming up with question like, what if we tilt more to short-term cash management as against long-term management, just to weather the uncertain times that the company may be going through at that point in time. Another one is they will conduct a rapid financial risk assessment, and in doing this they will carry out a rapid evaluation of the financial health of the organization in terms of the looking at it from the operational level as regards day-to-day activities. How will we be able to to carry out our day-to-day activity, considering the fact that cash is needed as far as the organization is concerned. And that is why remember I made mention of tilting more towards short-termism as against long-termism cash management. They will also consider it in light of of strategic decision of the organization, but more also of looking at it from short-term cash management as against the long-term cash management. And they will look at it in respect to their operational activity and the strategic decision of the organization. And they will also make strategic and immediate decision about the bleeding cash flow of the organization, in helping the organization to come out of whatever they might be struggling with as far as payment of their debts and dues to organization, to suppliers, to customers the company might be owing. And another one is communicating with shareholders regularly. In terms of, okay, I give an example. Most times, it is being said that there are some things you don't discuss with shareholders, especially shareholders. But most time it's better to have difficult conversations with them. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that will do is that they will understand. They won't insist on diversifying, on taking their investment, on selling their shares in that company, because they also understand they are furnished with necessary information as regards what is going on. At the end of the day, you may find out that they may even decide to pump in more fund to help the organization if they have a good understanding of whatever crisis that the organization is experiencing at any point in time. And don't forget that, yes, they are also aware, because most time when during uncertain times, time is not as if others that are not actively involved in the organization are not aware. Everyone is aware of things that may be going on in the country, that is going on in the corporate setting, that is going on in the public setting, that is going on generally in an organization. So they will be aware, but also actively engaging them and discussing it with them will go a long way in helping to reduce the adverse effect of that situation. In terms of, like I said, they may decide to even invest more funds just to help the organization. And they also understand if at the end of the day they are looking at the financial statement at the end of the year and they are not seeing that the company has proposed a dividend, they will understand, okay, it's as a result of the fact that the companies are going through uncertain times. So probably that's the reason why, and they will be able to understand with the organization. So very important, effective communication, engagement with the shareholders and stakeholders, and the information should be shared on a real-time basis as the situation is happening, with facts and figures. As the situation crops up, as it's is happening, they should be carried along, they should be informed. And another one is ensuring regulatory compliance, ensuring that they comply with circulars, they comply with laws, so that at the end of the day this will not add more to the situation of the organization in terms of company having to pay more because they are not they because they breach certain law or regulation. So the expectation is that they ensure that they comply with regulation. It is even during that time that they need to tighten up their compliance level, ensuring that they comply with law and regulation so as to avoid paying more in a situation whereby they don't the organization does not even have much, due to uncertain times that the organization might be experiencing at that point in time. And the last one is renegotiating suppliers term. Probably this can be done in such a way that the contract they have with the bankers, as a result of facilities they might have taken with them, the supplier, as a result of goods sold or they sold to them, is concerned, they will now begin to look at, okay, can we add addendum to the contract we have with the banker, with our supplier, in terms of extending our payment structure. Because you agree with me that during uncertain times, the thing that will be affected more is the cash flow management of the organization. So it's not the time that you begin to pay more to suppliers. The time you begin to pay more to your banker is a time to look at, okay, if I have 90-day facility with the organization, can I make it 80 days? If I have 80 days, can I make it 365 days? To my suppliers, if I'm supposed to pay them at the end of every month, can I extend it to quarterly? Can I extend it so that it will also help the cash flow system of the organization? And this can also be be considered also in line with payments, in line with what their expectation to what the company is expected to pay. The company is expected to pay to their internal stakeholder in form of, okay, now that this organization is going through a certain time, can we look at, okay, some of the quarterly payments, some of the performance bonus can we look at adjusting, tweaking something, just to weather the storm, just to if at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the company should be able to come out of it. Once the company comes out of whatever the issue is, once the company come out of that issue, is something that can be reversed back, and everybody gets to enjoy the organization again. And if this is being done, it should be something that is done holistically, as in every member of the organization. You should not affect some set of people in the organization at the expense of other. It is either it's being done holistically, or it's not done at all. And so that is all I have for us today. Thank you, everyone. Bye.